Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hey, since you're here, let's talk about my recent switch in cars. Went from the Stinger to the Golf R. I'd like to share my thoughts with you. Come on, let's go. Between the tune, the physical modifications, the electric cutouts that I had on the Stinger, this car was a blast. The suspension was set up really well, MNS did a really good job with the coilovers, and honestly, I just love looking at this car every single day. I also thoroughly enjoyed driving it. However, it was an 18 and it was time to get something with a slightly more updated interior. And I also wanted manual. So I ended up with a Golf R, a 2019 with only 9,000 miles on it, and bone stock. So let's talk about why I made the switch. Reason number one, manual transmission. I wanted a manual transmission, especially on my daily driver. This might go against what a lot of people think about having a daily driver, but didn't really need two automatics in the house. I have my Miata for the weekends, but I needed something that was a little bit more practical, but it was also fun to drive. Although, don't want to take credit away from the Stinger, that was a blast to drive. I really just wanted a manual transmission, so that limited down my choice quite a bit. The transmission in this car is great. It's buttery smooth. There are some things that I would probably improve, such as the shifter throw length, the clutch engagement just seems very long in both, especially for a more performance-oriented car. However, just rowing through the gears in this car, the sounds it makes, such a fun experience. I absolutely love this Volkswagen 6-speed transmission. Reason number two, nimble handling, daily fun. As a former owner of a Mazda Speed 3 and a Focus ST, along with my current Miata, I'm used to very nimble cars. The Stinger threw its weight around really well, surprisingly. I think that had something to do with the great engineering, but potentially also because of the coilovers I had and the upgraded sway bars. Really handled well for how heavy it was. However, the Golf R is in a different league. Of course, it comes at the expense of out of the box a little bit lower power, but the way this car hugs the road, the corners that you can take with this car is absolutely phenomenal. The car is very easy to drive. I can weave in and out of traffic as I need, safely of course. Overall, just makes daily driving a lot easier and also a little bit more fun. Yes, there's certain things I miss about the Stinger, especially the sound of it, the presence of it, but this car just hugs the road the way I want it to. And it's so much fun. I can't wait to do more with this. Reason number three, large aftermarket support plus a new platform. It's nice going into a platform that has tons of aftermarket support. As you can see here, just within suspension, tunes, intakes, there's so much aftermarket support for this whole platform. This really excites me because there's a lot of people that have tried things and I'll have a lot of points of reference as I continue my modifications on this car. Really excited to learn about this new platform and what it can do, especially one that's been established for a while. A couple other items I want to make sure I note, and one is the interior. The seats are awesome, the layout is awesome, everything seems very simple and easy to use, and nothing creaks or moves around. Also, number two, the exterior design is gorgeous on this car, very nice proportions. Not a lot of people are cross-shopping the Golf R with the Stinger GT, so how did I end up with the Golf R? Let's talk about some of my requirements first. I wanted a manual transmission, I wanted something over 300 horsepower, and I wanted something all-wheel drive. That being said, there was not a lot that ticked all those boxes, so I opened my mind a little bit and looked at some other cars. So let's run through the top three candidates that I had. Number one was the Elantra N. This car has received amazing reviews. Everybody says it's a track weapon, but there were two things that deterred me from buying this car. Front wheel drive, but also availability and markups, which were insane from the dealers. So that's why this car was out. Next up was a platform that I absolutely love and adore, and I can't wait to get into it one day, and that would be the BMW 340i, 440i Coupes. I love the powertrain, and I also love the fact that certain years of this you could get in manuals, such as these samples right here. Really, really good looking cars too once you start modifying them, and you can make crazy amounts of power. The reason I could not pull the trigger on one of these is A, they were really hard to find, but also paying way more than a Golf R and also getting a BMW with over 40,000 miles on it, just couldn't really stomach it. I got a really good deal on the Golf R, so price was ultimately the reason I could not move forward with the 340, although I do think that my next car might fall into that platform. And car number 3 was the Camaro SS1LE between 2017 and 2019. Those years mattered because those are the ones I could afford. I love these cars. I rented a 2019 a long time ago. Sure, it was an automatic, but it was a phenomenal automatic, and the sounds this car makes are intoxicating. The 1LE trim comes with the magnetic ride shocks, it comes with Recaros. However, there's 2 factors that made me not want to purchase this car, and this was actually the one that I almost pulled the trigger on a couple times. Number 1 was the cavernous feel that you get when you sit in this car. I'm 5'8", I had a really tough time with the visibility, but it really is a little tough to sit in this car, especially at my height, and feel fully comfortable driving it around. Number 2, the backseat was a joke. My car needed to be able to fit my daughter in the back, and I even took her the second time I looked at this particular one right here, and there was no way that she could sit in that back seat without her feet or knees hitting the front seat, and she's only 7 years old. With having the Miata at home, I could not justify having a second car with a non-functional, basically, back seat. Because of that reason, the Camaro SS1LE was out, although I was a mere few seconds away from pulling the trigger on this car. So there you have it, switching from a Stinger GT to a Golf R. I wanted to hold on to the Stinger GT because I do think those cars are holding value, but they're also very, very cool cars. However, with the purchase of the EV6, I had the opportunity to get back into a manual car and I had to take it. I've always liked the Golf Rs, I've always admired the R32, so when this one became available in this color and the manual transmission, I had to jump on it. I hope you'll join me on this journey as I continue modifying this car. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at @modifications. Thanks for watching.